Hey guys, so I said that I would document the journey towards success, and this is part of the journey. This is not really a video I thought I'd be making. To be honest, this is kind of embarrassing, something I haven't really talked to anybody about this, like, at all. But here we are. We're just gonna raw dog this video, and I'm going to tell you guys everything. So yes, you obviously saw the title of this video. I got fired. This is kind of weird. I didn't really think I would be here. It almost feels a little surreal. I guess the first step here is just to kind of tell you guys the story about what happened. It was yesterday at the end of work. So it was like 4:15-ish. And right now it is almost 9 a.m. the next morning. Basically what I do for work, or what I did for work, was I was an accountant. I worked in public accounting. Basically, they called me into the office, one of the offices, and they just said, "You're terminated." It was a pretty quick thing. I asked that, or they basically said, "We're terminating your employment." They handed me a letter. They mentioned something about, my last paycheck. They said I would get my last paycheck at the end of like this pay cycle, which is like, I got paid today and then that's it. I'm not getting another check. So I just got my last check. This job was like responsible for like 99% of my income, And then they mentioned a couple things about like my insurance. And then I basically, wow, this is weird. I'm getting like a lot of anxiety talking about this. After that, all I really asked was why. And they didn't tell me. They wouldn't tell me. I'm not really sure why they didn't tell me. If any of you have ever worked in like a corporate position, people are very weird in, that environment. People are they're very fake. They're very, they put on a facade for work. And like, I can't, blame them. Like, I did the same thing. There were a lot of times at my job that I would just not speak my mind or not say what I believe just because maybe they wouldn't understand, or maybe, I don't know. I did think that was a little weird. I basically I said, why? They didn't want to get into it, is what they told me. And then I just kind of said, I think it's fair that you give me a reason if you're going to terminate me. They basically just kind of danced around that question. The reason kind of, what I was digging at, I asked them a follow-up question. I said, does this have anything to do with, anything outside of work? Because, one of the things that came into my mind was like, I post a lot of videos on YouTube, I make a lot of TikToks, and, maybe they saw something on social media that they didn't like, or that they didn't agree with, or whatever, and they fired me because of it. That seems like a very corporate America thing to do, fire somebody because of a post they made on social media. I asked them, I was like, hey, like, does this have anything to do with something outside of work? And they looked a little confused when I asked that, so I'm guessing no. But nobody at work really knows I have a YouTube channel. Like, I don't talk about my YouTube channel. I don't talk about my book. I don't talk about any of that stuff. I basically go to work, don't talk to many people, and then, I just keep to myself because I don't really have much in common with them. And I don't know, I'm not really a small talk kind of guy, There are people that I love sharing my time with, but there are people I don't. But anyways, kind of what I got from their roundabout answers, if you want to call them answers, were performance. So basically it was like I just wasn't doing a good enough job for them, which is fair. Obviously we entered into a contractual agreement, and can you guys hear those church bells? They have every right to do whatever they want with their company. So at that point I just said okay, and then I left. Then I went home, and then I went to the gym. And then I just kind of thought about it for a little bit. I didn't really talk to anybody. I was in shock, I was just thinking like, oh wow, did that really just happen? Like, damn. So it was kind of just like a, punch in the gut, smack in the face, like, and I was just like, sort of like eyes wide open, like, wow, did that really just happen? But it's the next day. Woke up early, woke up at 4:30, went to the gym, got ready, did a couple, got to work at my house, and it's almost 9, so I went to the library. I'm just waiting for them to open right now. So regardless, we're still pushing forward. But yeah, kind of what I was getting at, I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't my fault. I'm not going to pretend like they wrongfully fired me, because that's just probably not true. For some reason, this is hitting pretty hard. I don't really know why. I've lost my job a couple times actually, but I've never been fired. The times I've lost my job before were like something company-wide happened and everybody lost their job kind of a thing. Like the first job I lost, I was like 16 and I worked at a pizza place. That pizza place just went out of business, so I didn't have a job. The next time was when in 2020, I worked for the travel industry. I worked at a hotel. The hotel I actually still have some employment at. Everything shut down, so everybody lost their job kind of a thing. So it was never like a personal thing. That makes it more interesting. But yeah, definitely is kind of a punch in the gut. I don't know, it's interesting. I don't want to say that this is a sad thing, because I don't necessarily think that's true. And I don't want to say that this is a bad thing. Like, yes, this is going to provide different challenges, but I knew that I didn't want to stay at that company forever. I knew that my goals and my dreams were far past that company and the people there. I would say, to sum up how I feel right now, very anxious. A lot of anxiety, like a lot of like right here. So like, I've been meditating a lot, and I just like, that was what I did when I got home. I just like, got home, meditated, tried to, stay calm. I know we'll be okay. There have been times in my life where, and these are things that I haven't even shared with you guys on YouTube. Maybe I will one day, but there have been times in my life where I've been through terrible, terrible, terrible circumstances or terrible experiences, experiences that I never want to go through again. But they happened. I'm not talking about this, getting fired. I'm talking about other things. Those experiences sucked, and they do suck. But once I got through them and once I got over them, and I learned how to be happy, learned how to move on, learn how to get better because of that, you almost have this level of comfort. Like, I experienced something extremely tragic and terrible, but I got through it, and I'm still alive, and I'm still kicking, and I figured it out. So once you go through something extremely bad, there's not much that can break you after that. Like, there are a handful of things that I can think of that would be as bad as some of the stuff I've been through. And this isn't a competition of who had it worst. I'm not trying to be like that. But just know that if maybe you guys are going through something tough, that like once you get through it, you do have this feeling of like, wow, I did that. So like, there's not much that can be worse. I knew I wasn't going to stay at this company forever. I can't say I loved my job, not a chance. I knew it wasn't me. And I also see so many people, and I saw so many people that would like pour their life, their energy, their effort into their job. They would get taken advantage of by work. There's lots of people I've seen, and even on social media, like these people that pour their lives into somebody else or something else. I believe you should work extremely hard, and I try my best to work as hard as I can. But I work hard for myself. I don't want to get taken advantage of by an employer. I believe that many employers will work you to death if they have the opportunity. There are people in my work and in the industry of accounting, in many industries, they're working 50, 60 hours, 70 hours sometimes a week. Sometimes in the accounting industry during tax season, it's like normal to work 80 hours a week. Like, these people get paid salary jobs. Like, they're like, what is the purpose of working double time for somebody else? I know this is like cliche, but working hard to make somebody else rich just doesn't do it for me. I feel like at my job, I just sort of tried to get by. I kept to myself. I didn't really talk to many people, and I just tried to do my job and go home so that I could work on my business, so that I could work on my channel. Like, every hour I spent at work was an hour that was spent away from something that was more beneficial towards my future and was a long-term play. In public accounting, they have this thing called billable hours. Basically, it's what like lawyers and accountants like myself will work off of. So basically, for every 1 hour of your time, the company will sell that hour to a client. My company would sell my time for $150 an hour, and I would get paid about $30 an hour before tax. And every single day, I would look at that, and I would just think, damn, I am not on the right side of this equation. Here I am working for 15% of what my company's making. I could go off on my own, charge 30% what they do, and still make double my pay. I knew as an employee, I just wasn't on the right side of the equation. It's interesting now that it's over. I feel like I had, and I feel like a lot of people have, this false sense of security when it comes to employment. We believe that having a job is the most stable source of income. But that's not true. I completely disagree. Your job or your income, whatever it is, if it's controlled by other people, in my case, it was controlled almost entirely by one company. They choose how I make my money, not me. If you have a business or you have investments or real estate or whatever, your income is so diverse, you can get fired by a client or get fired by one person, and it doesn't really matter because you have such a sense of security and financial freedom, opposed to having your income come from one source, like you do as an employee. As a business owner, you have it coming from many sources. Think of all the customers that come in every single day to a business. Every single one of them would need to quit coming to that business for them to not have that income anymore. An employer can just snap their fingers and I lose my income. No 2 weeks notice, no severance pay, no nothing. If I am in control of my income, then I decide. I decide how much I make. I decide how much I keep. I decide how much I invest. I decide everything. And I feel like we personally believe, I feel like many people believe that their income is most safe when it's in somebody else's hands. And that just doesn't sit right with me. But also there is a sense of liberation. I'm in control now. I am in control of my income, for better or for worse. If I do this right, nobody can take this away from me. This is going to be tough. This is going to be embarrassing. I'm sure my family members will look down on me for this. But whatever. Who cares what they think? I'm looking for something more. I'm looking for something better. And most people don't understand. If you're trying to be successful and if you're reaching towards that, most people won't get it. You are a weirdo. I'm a weirdo. That's okay. They call it the 1% for a reason, but just know you're an outlier. What are the pros here? It's middle of January, and thankfully, I got out before tax season, which means that's a lot of long hours and things I won't have to do for the same salary I was already getting. So I guess if there were a time to get out, this would be a good one. Another pro, I have more time. I'm in control. I have more time to work on my business, to work on YouTube, to work on whatever. Cons, obviously the big one, money. I have a little bit saved up in my savings, but not much. I basically have my last check. I have about 2 paychecks worth of money. That's what we got working for us right now. I have investments and stuff. We're gonna be very conscious of our spending, cut down as much as we can on that, be smart. I'm smart, I'll figure it out. Hey guys, my camera died, so I gotta switch to my phone. But the big question, what now? I guess there's really 2 things we can think about. Obviously the big, thing that you guys are probably all thinking, and most people would say, is look for another job. The accounting industry it's very easy to find a job. I could pretty much go anywhere if I really wanted to with an accounting degree. I even had a conversation with someone the other day that just randomly hit me up on LinkedIn, and I thought, and they offered me a job. Not offered me a job, but they asked me to come interview, basically. We talked a little bit, and I could easily just go get another job, and that would seem like that's the logical thing to do. However, I don't know if that's really the solution. I feel like going to get another job it's just putting a Band-Aid on this problem. I feel like getting another job would just be putting a Band-Aid on issues, putting a Band-Aid on a financial problem that I'm trying to solve. I'm not gonna become wealthy and generate wealth by doing that. Getting another job will provide me with some income. I'm not going to have leverage. I'm not going to have my time available. And it's probably going to pay me just enough to cover my expenses and then some. Maybe 10% more, 15% more. Okay, maybe a little more. But because I don't have many expenses, because I try to keep those low. But you get what I'm saying. This job is going to pay me just enough so I get a job and I show up to work and I try, but it's not going to be a job is not going to pay me what I'm looking for, and it's not going to provide me with the other things I'm looking for. I'm not talking about insurance or dental or vision or whatever. I'm talking about freedom, control, leverage. I feel like getting a job would just be putting a Band-Aid on what I'm trying to do here and what I want. I feel like it's going to pay me just enough so that I stay in the same place. A job will only get you so far. what am I going to get? A couple percent raise every year? I will never achieve true success through the means of accounting, through the means of working in an accounting job. Like, it's just not going to happen. It's not what I want. Ironically, my video today about my 2023 goals, ironically, that's posting and going live today. So I will be, I think I'm actually wearing the same shirt. So I talk about my job and stuff, and I talk about income. Ironically, this is, quite a way to start the year and start out, working towards things. One of my big goals there was to purchase a house. That's going to be very challenging without having any provable income now. I mean, I have some provable income, and I could maybe figure out how to get more, but that's going to be very hard. And that's something I really want to do, but getting a loan is going to be very hard now. So that's interesting. That's going to be a hurdle we're going to have to figure out. I don't know. I haven't really decided what to do from here, but for now, I'm just going to work, on my business. Try to get clients, try to grow the business, try and make things happen. And I haven't really done a full launch video on this business yet, but basically what it is I'm selling, all these skills that I've learned through YouTube and through content creation for the past 3-4 years, promotion of myself, basically. I sort of packaged that and I'm selling it to businesses. So instead of saying hey, I'm Caleb, I promote myself, or I make car videos, or I make business videos, or whatever, I sell that to a business and I say, hey, let me come in, I'll help promote your business, help you guys, grow your brand, get more clients, get more customers. That's what I like. And that's basically what the business is going to do. Selling these things that I've worked on, these skills that I've worked on and grown. So I'm going to go do that in the meantime. I don't really have a great way to end this video, but I guess we'll take it from here. Whatever happens will be okay. Whatever happens in your life, guys, you're in control. I take a lot of comfort in that fact, and I hope you guys do too. Nonetheless, work hard, stay strong, and keep moving forward. Let's make this a good month. Let's make this a good year, and do something you'll be proud of. See you in the next one.